The sun scorched the dry earth of Michael Williams's strawberry farm. The air was still heavy, and the sweet scent of the fruit filled his lungs. He had only been there a few days, having inherited the land from his late father, but the monotony of rural Oregon was already getting to him. So when he looked out from his porch window and saw those two giant craters in the middle of the field, his blood boiled. "What the hell?" he muttered, grabbing a cap and striding toward the damage. He stomped through the trampled strawberries, feeling the soft dirt beneath his boots, until he stopped in front of something impossible. Two metallic capsules, still smoking, their doors wide open. The black metal reflected the sunlight, and the air around them shimmered like they were still hot from re-entry. Michael's heart pounded. This wasn't the work of some bored farmers. This was something much worse. That's when he saw them. Two women. No, aliens. Standing between the rows of strawberries, tall, with glowing blue skin, snow-white hair, and long pointed ears. And the most shocking detail, both of them were only in their underwear. The one who seemed to be the leader widened her golden eyes when she noticed him. Her face instantly turned red. In a rushed movement, she pressed a small device attached to her wrist. "Human, what do you think you're doing?" Her voice was firm, but there was a hint of panic. Michael stood frozen for a second, taking in the absurd sight before him. Two nearly naked extraterrestrials standing in the middle of his field. Should he be scared? Probably, but honestly, he wasn't. Instead, he smirked. Just admiring two very beautiful ladies. The second alien, Taraz, crossed her arms and shot a glare at the leader. "Frel, I told you he should have checked before stepping out of the capsules." Frel averted her gaze, visibly flustered. Her fingers brushed against her thigh, a nervous gesture, and Michael couldn't help but notice her curves. Definitely human-like bodies, but the blue skin and glowing eyes made it clear they weren't from this world. "Shh, human, this is very serious." Frel cleared her throat. "In our culture, if a male sees a female dressed like this, he is automatically married to her." Michael blinked. Did he hear that right? "Wait, what?" Taraz rolled her eyes. "Marriage, human. You're our husband now." A shiver ran down Michael's spine. This had to be a dream, or a heat-induced hallucination. "You're joking, right?" Frel nodded, still blushing. Michael ran a hand through his hair. Married? To two aliens? He glanced at them again. They were gorgeous, exotic, and apparently interested in him. A grin spread across his face. Maybe this hole in the middle of nowhere wasn't so bad after all. "All right, I accept." He raised his hands. "I'm an open-minded guy. If it's tradition, who am I to refuse?" Frel's eyes widened again. "Wait, you accept?" Michael shrugged. "Why not?" That's when they both lunged at him. Frel grabbed his collar and pulled him into a deep kiss, while Taraz clutched his arm and ran her cool fingers along his skin. The sensation was surreal, a mix of warmth and static shock. She tasted slightly sweet, but with a faint metallic tang, like static electricity. Michael groaned against Frel's lips as Taraz nipped at his neck. "Damn, you two don't waste any time, do you?" He chuckled, his heart hammering in his chest. Frel pulled back slightly, her lips wet, her eyes half-lidded. "We're in heat," her voice was husky. Michael gasped. "Ah, shit," Taraz laughed. "Now do you get it, human? When we marry, consummation has to be immediate." Frel's eyes gleamed intensely before she pulled him in again. The heat of their bodies against him was addictive, intoxicating. The strawberry field around them vanished from his mind. His entire world narrowed to the moment they were sharing. Michael never imagined his day would end like this. But then, in the middle of the frenzy, Frel suddenly stopped. Her expression turned serious. Her eyes widened and her hands trembled. Something was wrong. "Shit, I forgot a crucial detail." Michael blinked, still breathless. "What?" Frel swallowed hard. "Our husbands." Michael felt his stomach drop. Wait, you were already married? Taraz bit her lip. Technically, yes, but it doesn't matter anymore because now we belong to you. It's just that... Frel looked up at the sky. A sinister light streaked through the clouds. Something was coming. Our ex-husbands are warriors of the Imperial fleet, she whispered, and they're going to want to kill you. A chill ran down Michael's spine. Shit. Michael felt ice crawl up his spine as he looked up. The eerie glow cutting through the clouds was now much larger. The air around them grew dense, and a deep, vibrating hum made the ground tremble. Okay, explain this properly. You were married to warriors? His eyes widened. Taraz shrugged, as if it were obvious. Imperial fleet warriors, the deadliest of our kind. Basically, trained assassins. Michael ran his hands over his face. Great, just great. He barely had time to enjoy his new life as an intergalactic husband and was already about to be killed. Frel bit her lower lip and looked at him guiltily. Michael, if our husbands see us with you, they'll invoke the honor law. That means only one outcome. Taraz finished the thought with a sly smile. You die. Michael exhaled sharply, trying to stay calm. And you didn't think maybe you should have told me this before we, I don't know, started doing married things? Frel hesitated, clearly embarrassed. We were in heat. We weren't thinking straight. The hum became deafening. Michael looked up just in time to see a massive spaceship breaking through the clouds. Its black hull gleamed under the Oregon sun. It was long, predatory in shape, with several energy cannons protruding from its flanks. Michael felt his stomach plummet. This can't be happening. A blue energy beam fired from the ship, hitting the ground beside them with a boom that shook the earth. A circle of crackling energy opened, and from its center, two figures emerged. The ex-husbands. Two aliens, tall, muscular, and glowing-eyed. Their metallic armor gleamed in the light, and in their hands, plasma spears hummed with deadly energy. Frel, Taraz, one of them growled, his deep voice reverberating through the air. Traitors. Michael raised his hands. Okay, before you guys start blasting lasers and killing people, let's talk. The second alien, the one with dark blue skin, pointed his spear at Michael. You touched our females. That means war. Michael blinked. War? Oh, come on, man. This is just a misunderstanding. Frel stepped in front of him, her glowing eyes filled with determination. We chose Michael. It's our new tradition. If you don't accept it, then fight us too. Taraz grinned. Exactly. You're warriors. If you lose to him, he gets to keep us. Michael's eyes widened. Wait. Who said I'm fighting? Frel turned to him and grabbed his face with both hands. You have to fight. If you don't, they'll kill you anyway. Michael took a deep breath. Was he really about to duel two alien assassins over his two blue-skinned wives? The ship in the sky rumbled like thunder. Time was running out. He grabbed a rock from the ground and hurled it at the first alien warrior. Screw it. Let's do this. The duel for his life had begun. Michael barely had time to react before the two aliens charged at him, fast as lightning. Their plasma spears sliced through the air, and he dove to the side, rolling between the rows of strawberries. The heat from the plasma was so close, he could feel the hairs on his arm singe. Shit! He scrambled to his feet, grabbing an old hoe lying on the ground. It was ridiculous to face space war warriors with a farming tool, but it was all he had. The first alien, the dark blue-skinned one, lunged at him with a vertical strike. Michael dodged at the last second, spinning the hoe and slamming it into the warrior's head with all his strength. Crack! The alien staggered but didn't fall. Instead, he growled and spun his spear, trying to cleave Michael in half. Michael, watch out! Frel shouted. Michael ducked just in time, feeling the heat of the plasma blade sweep over his head. He couldn't keep dodging forever. He needed to turn the tide. That's when Taraz made a radical decision. She leaped onto the alien attacking Michael and sank her teeth into his neck, biting down hard. The warrior howled in pain, struggling to shake her off, but Frel was already in action. She raised her arm and fired an energy blast at her other ex-husband, sending him flying backward with a pained grunt. Michael didn't hesitate. He grabbed a bag of fertilizer, ripped open the top, and threw the white powder straight into the warrior's eyes. "Take that, asshole!" the alien screamed, blinded by the chemicals. It was the perfect opening. Michael swung the hoe with everything he had and smashed it into the warrior's jaw. The warrior hit the ground hard, completely unconscious. The other, still recovering from the shock, looked at Michael and the two aliens. Realizing he was now alone, he gritted his teeth and stepped back, pressing a button on his wrist. "This isn't over," he growled before a beam of light engulfed him, teleporting him back to the ship. Seconds later, the ship roared and shot up into the sky, vanishing into the vastness of space. Michael stood there, breathing heavily. "Holy shit." He looked at Frel and Taraz. "You two got me into a massive mess." Frel smiled, biting her lip. "But now, you're our husband, and you won." Taraz stepped closer, running her cool fingers across his chest. "You proved yourself a worthy male, Michael, and now we can celebrate our victory." Michael's body was still pulsing with adrenaline, but something else was beginning to take over his mind. The way the two aliens were looking at him. The way their bodies shimmered under the moonlight, now rising in the sky. Frel was the first to move, cupping his face and pulling him into a deep kiss, her soft lips pressing against his. Her energy was warm, electric, making every part of his body react instantly. Taraz followed right after, wrapping herself around him from behind, her hands gliding along his back. The two of them pressed against him, sharing their heat and desire. "Human," Frel whispered against his lips. "Now you belong to us, and we belong to you." Michael grinned, feeling like the luckiest guy in the galaxy. He pulled them both into a tight embrace, feeling their alien hearts beating against his chest. The strawberry fields, the heat of Oregon, the dust from the craters, everything faded away. There, between the strawberries and the stars above, Michael Williams celebrated his victory in the most intimate way possible. "What a fucking life," he whispered before losing himself in their warmth.